On behalf of the directors and staff of Puriality, as well as your mentor coordinators, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome and thank you for making the awesome decision of becoming a mentor or chaperone for Puriality. Our goal is to educate our youth to live a lifestyle of purity through various workshops while building a lasting and trusting relationship with you as their mentor or chaperone as they grow and transition into adulthood. Based on the alarming statistics, I'm sure you will agree that we are in a battle to save our youth. In this training, we hope to equip you with some basic tools that you will need as mentors and chaperones. We will also review key elements necessary for our annual retreat. In addition to this training, you are also required to complete the online course at www.learning.puriality.org. You will need a one-time enrollment code, which is PURE101. You are also required to complete the training at www.shieldthevulnerable.org. Your certificate must be emailed to the mentor coordinators. All mentors, chaperones, and staff volunteering with Puriality, whether having direct or indirect contact with our young people, will undergo a mandatory background check. Individuals living outside of the United States are required to submit a character reference form signed by their pastor, principal, or first elder. This must be an individual who has known you for at least 4 years. The character reference form may be obtained on Puriality's website. Our mission is to provide support and educate youth about a life of moral purity through the programs offered by Puriality and to build positive mentoring relationships that will impact their lives and society on a whole. The vision for youths participating in Puriality is for them to know that they are set aside by divine design for a lifestyle of purity, righteousness, and service to God and man. As mentors and chaperones for Puriality, your role is vital to the success of this program. Many of our teens and young adults who attend this retreat have been exposed to various social, emotional, and economic stressors, while others are faced with mastering developmental stages and changes in life, such as puberty, peer pressure, dating, sexuality, and entering college, and gaining their independence. It can be a scary and exciting time, but with your involvement, you can help them through these transitions. Edward Everett Hale states, "I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something, and I will not let what I cannot do interfere with what I can do." Antoine Fisher, Oprah Winfrey, and former President Bill Clinton each gave accounts of significant individuals who mentored them and influenced their lives in a positive way. I'm sure you can also recall someone in your life that made a significant impact. Mentoring is matching young people with caring adults, supporting youth as they grow and transition into adulthood. Mentoring is strengthening families and communities. As Christian mentors, you also impact their spiritual life. Faith, having trust and confidence in God and His Word. Virtue, possessing a Christ-like character of moral excellence. Knowledge, having an experiential knowledge of God's power in your own life and experiencing God's grace. Self-control, subduing your own passion, appetite, and impulse through the indwelling of God in your life. Patience and perseverance, enduring in the midst of conflict and opposition. Godliness, having reverence for God and a strong sense of morality. Brotherly kindness is to be kind and hospitable. Love, which is based on the principles defined in 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 8. The heart of a mentor should be trustworthy, supportive, have a sense of humor, rational, honest, sincere, patient, empathetic, and non-judgmental. As you mentor others, you develop the ability to deal with your own day-to-day challenges. You will make sense of your own past and your current experiences, and the joy of giving will improve your own health and self-esteem. Youth who are mentored tend to stay in school, get better grades, are less likely to use drugs or alcohol. They get along better with their peers and other adults, and they are far better able to handle frustration. They are also better equipped to control their emotions. These youth also have higher aspirations, have better school attendance, are more likely to graduate. Their self-esteem and self-confidence improve significantly. They develop stronger relationships and coping skills. Mentors are assigned 4 mentees. Chaperones are assigned to 2 mentors, and their mentees give them a ratio of 1 to 8. Chaperones provide assistance and support to mentors and their mentees. Chaperones must be as knowledgeable as mentors in order to fulfill the role of a mentor in the event of an emergency or crisis. The role of a chaperone is to offer relief to mentors throughout the weekend. Chaperones are required to stay with attendees as mentors deal with other crises. Chaperones may be asked to assist in various capacities. They are the link between mentors and organizers. Chaperones are housed separately from their assigned groups. They must ensure that they are with their groups by breakfast each morning and retire only after their groups are in lodging that night. Early adolescents, aged 12, are entering puberty, which lasts until the end of high school. Puberty impacts all aspects of an adolescent's life, which includes physiological, psychological, social, emotional, cognitive, and physical development. Early maturing females and late maturing males may become isolated from peers during the stage of identity versus isolation. This is usually due to the physical changes they are experiencing in their bodies that they may be uncomfortable with. Adolescent boys and girls spend hours concerned about physical appearance, and they are also concerned about fitting in with their peers. If family and peer groups are not supportive of these changes, negative feelings and conflicts are likely to arise. Frequent emotions displayed by teens are anxiety, shyness, shame, embarrassment, guilt, depression, and anger. Boys usually display their emotions by focusing on others, and boys may show contempt and aggression. Socially, membership in a teen's peer group is vital, and friendship becomes increasingly important to them. Their friendships become more intimate and selective, and they may begin to form cliques. Cognitively, adolescents begin to express their own thoughts. They question general truths and statements, becoming more independent thinkers as their reasoning skills increase. They tend to argue for arguing's sake and jump to conclusions. Some teens may also find fault in rules and adult position. They may be overly dramatic at times. As mentors and chaperones, it's important that you establish a relationship with your mentees, and to do so, you should be yourself. Talk to youth honestly and simply. Show interest in their feelings and activities. Listen actively. Be in charge. Clarify rules, boundaries, and safety issues without being controlling. Respect privacy. Be patient. Don't push mentees to talk. No lecturing or preaching. It is important to create a warm atmosphere and accepting environment. To obtain this, you need to be approachable, yet maintain authority. Ensure that participants feel valued. Establish group rules and boundaries. Engage in icebreakers to help develop rapport and group cohesion. Research has shown that teens often want someone to listen to what they have to say. Listening is an active process. Allow the teen to talk while you listen. Show you are listening by using nonverbal cues, such as body language, paraphrasing what the person said to confirm understanding. Avoid trying to cheer or pacify. Make no promises. Active listening involves the use of all senses. Use open-ended questions. Using how questions is better than why questions. Avoid passing judgment. Good communication ends when judgment begins. When dealing with adolescents, acknowledge their thoughts and feelings. Don't dismiss them. Acknowledge feelings with words or sounds such as, oh, I see. Give information instead of threats or demands. Offer choices, not lectures. Describe problems, don't give orders. Describe how you are feeling without verbal attacks. Affirm youth with appropriate touching, such as brief hugs, which may be side to side or shoulder to shoulder. Always remember to get the youth's permission before any physical contact. You are expected to arrive at camp no later than 3 p.m. All late arrivals are required to notify mentor coordinators, as your mentees can be temporarily assigned to another staff member. We ask that you reach out to loners, youth who appear to be isolated or withdrawn. Follow the weekend's program schedule accordingly. You are expected to help attendees process the session information through group discussions. As mentors and chaperones, you set the tone. We ask that you please set the tone with positive energy. Do not yell or discipline with anger. Do not participate in gossip, jokes, or the taunting of others. Do not complain in the presence of attendees. Rather, bring concerns to your mentor coordinators. You are required to remain with your mentees at all times. Saturday night activities. Contact your head mentor if for any reason you are unable to fulfill your duties. Absolutely no electronic devices are allowed during sessions or presentations. Mentors and mentees cannot step out of sessions to use electronic devices unless there is an emergency. We ask that you lead by example. Best practice is to leave electronics in the room. There is to be no recording of sessions due to the sensitive nature of topics and individual privacy. Mentors and chaperones are never to share a bed with an attendee. Attendees, with the exception of siblings, are not to sleep in the same bed. Adults are expected to sleep in beds closer to the exits for safety and supervision purposes. In order to help protect our youth, you are asked to provide appropriate supervision and to implement the two-person rule. Two-person rule means you should never be alone with a youth. Additionally, use the bathing suit rule when interacting with youth. Based on the bathing suit rule, an attendee must not be touched in the areas of his or her body that a full-piece bathing suit would cover. Even as we encourage privacy and confidentiality, there are limits to what you as a mentor and chaperone can keep confidential based on state laws and guidelines. The limits to confidentiality are as follows, and the following must be reported. Suicidal thoughts. When a youth or person expresses desire to harm themselves. Homicidal thoughts. When a youth or person expresses desires to harm others. Abuse. Any suspicion of sexual or physical abuse must be reported. Florida Statute, Chapter 39. 1A. Any person who knows or has reasonable cause to suspect that a child is abused, physically or sexually abandoned, or neglected by a parent, legal custodian, caregiver, or other person responsible for the child's welfare must be reported to the abuse hotline at 1-800-96-ABUSE. Failure to report such cases are subject to a third-degree felony charge, individuals and institutions alike. A mentee may make a suicidal threat. The threat may be in the form of a direct verbal threat. I'm going to kill myself. Indirect verbal. What is the point in living? Nonverbal. Gives away personal items. In the event that any such threats occur, take all threats seriously. Be calm and do not leave the attendee alone. Get help. Notify mentors, coordinators, security, and the crisis team. If you are aware of any attendee with a mental health concern, you must alert Pure staff prior to the retreat and complete the mental health form found on our website. The mentee must obtain a signed release from his or her mental health practitioner. When correcting negative behaviors, you may use the ACT rule. Play Therapy, The Art of Relationships by Gary L. Landreth. A. Accept. Accept the mentee's feelings. I understand you're tired. C. Communicate. Communicate the rule. However, we have to be at breakfast by 8 o'clock. T. Target a positive choice. We will leave now and as a group rest during free time. If the children continue to be non-compliant, please contact security for assistance. Do not take matters into your own hands. When you are confronted with challenging emotional or disciplinary concerns, have a signed chaperone contact head mentors. Head mentors will assess the situation and notify appropriate personnel. Needed personnel may include security, crisis management team, medical staff, outside authorities, or outside agencies. At the time of departure from the retreat, we ask that you make sure that everyone assigned to you is on their respective bus before you depart. Contact mentor coordinators if you must leave prior to your mentee in order to ensure that your mentee is in the custody of a mentor coordinator. We ask that following the weekend, you maintain a relationship with your mentee by obtaining their phone numbers and email addresses, getting to know the young person's guardian, participating in organized activities, have monthly contact with parental consent, plan outings, be creative, show interest in the child's academic, social, and spiritual life. Mentors and chaperones, your listening ear, kind word, empathetic demeanor is sometimes all that's needed. We cannot change the past, nor can we make the decisions for them. We can, however, show God's love through our interactions. Pure thanks you for making the decision to protect, support, empower, and uplift and educate our youth so that they can make informative decisions to live a lifestyle of purity.